Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V, the Four Job Fiesta. Last episode we got some, the last job, the Mimic job that we can't use. We got the optional summon of Odin. And now we're back here in Ball Castle. We're going to head to the 4th tablet dungeon. We need to get our airship slash submarine. But instead of walking to them, we are going to take the Hiryu. So, all the people here basically did the same things that they did back before we assaulted Exdeath Castle at the end of World 2. So no need to talk with any of the new folks, no new dialogue. But we ride the Hiryu. It's weird to get the Hiryu after. You know, you have the airship, so there's no point in even riding the Hiryu at all. But I guess maybe they put it here just so, you know, maybe you won't have to do it like how I'm doing here. You won't have to experience any encounters when you're going back to your airship. Because your airship's going to be parked outside the Jackhole Cave. Since we're going to go to the final tablet dungeon, might as well heal ourselves up here and get the last of this extra meal service that we get here in Kelb. So that'll fill up our potions, up to 99 potions, and we'll be full hit points, full magic points, ready to go for that last tablet dungeon. It's probably the easiest of all the tablet dungeons. The boss is easy. There's you actually can skip the boss. There's no you know, tricky traps or things you have to manipulate. It's pretty much a straight shot. So maybe the developers purposely did that because if you're only doing the optional content, just doing the tablet dungeons, after that really tough 3rd tablet dungeon, they give you a nice easy one because obviously the final dungeon, the Cleft of Dimensions, is going to be tough. So give you a little bit of a breather. So there's Istory Falls. That's where we got to go to get the last tablet. We have to sink in our submarine here, go into this little cave. We have a small little walk. There's basically those Ironbacks and Druids are here. Same ones we met on that way to the Catastrophe. Or the Shoat extra summon back in World 2. Those Ironbacks are good to capture, so enemies here like from the desert enemies in the first world, so no problem here. And we got our last set of gargoyles to fight, which probably turned out to be the toughest part in this dungeon because the chicken knife just kept running away. So, several times now I was so close to finishing them off, but then the chicken knife, rather than attacking, did the run away, and the gargoyles revived, and, well, had to just fight the gargoyles again. But, like I said, this dungeon isn't too hard, so it's not that bad that we had a tough time fighting these gargoyles here. The only gimmicky thing that we have here is basically in the first room, we have a bunch of waterfalls that kind of push you around in order to get to different places to get all the treasure. You have to go down a few different waterfalls. But the game kind of points that out to you because you can't really get out of the first section without jumping into a waterfall. So it's your clue saying that, oh yeah, I can step in these waterfalls and they're not going to hurt me. Faris here. I could have equipped Lenna with the Thief's Knife, that way she could have done a little bit of damage. Right now she currently has the Excalibur, and remember Excalibur is a holy elemental, and these guys absorb holy, so that's why Lenna isn't doing any attacking. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I thought I did a little bit more damage to that gargoyle. I thought that maybe Angel would finish it off, but nope, so his buddy's gonna come back. That's the roughest gargoyle fight of them all, so we will not miss fighting these guys. So we'll fight Pallet Swamps with them a little bit later. I think there's an enemy that looks like them in the beyond the Cleft of Dimensions. But yeah. Like I said, we could have probably gotten rid of them with Gill Toss, but we don't want to save our guild. We're going to use a lot of elixirs later on. We're going to do actually, we're not going to the Cleft of Dimensions right after this. We still have 2 little optional dungeons to do. I'm getting a little tired of waiting, so yeah, I'm going to have the Thief Knife come out, do a little damage here to these guys. And let's hope the Thief Knife doesn't make me run away, or the Chicken Knife. It doesn't. And finally, we got rid of all the gargoyles, and we'll never have to fight them again. Woohoo! Not the ability points that we got, though. So, here we go. What's the tablet say? And the last, behind a waterfall, protected by water. Alright. The scholars basically sit back at the tower, you know, hey, maybe they mean like Istory Falls, so that was your little clue. Alright, let's head on in here. So when we get to here, there's nowhere to go, but you have to go down one of these waterfalls. So it doesn't matter which one, so that basically is your clue that, hey, you gotta use these waterfalls to get around. So most of the enemies here are going to be water-based, so they'll be weak to lightning, and they will absorb water attacks. So, but overall, there's only one enemy that's kind of tough, the Tonberry. He's tough because he has a lot of hit points, and he's a pretty deadly attack, but he's slow. And we'll see him later on. Not in this episode, but in the next episode, because I don't run into him on this trip, so I have to come back in this dungeon and farm him, but I'll get him, so. Good thing about the Tonberry is, he's kind of tough. One of the things you can do is, you can steal, with the Thief Knife, a Mirage Vest off of him, and you can also drop that Mirage Vest. So you can get a bunch of Mirage Vests if you want. But we don't need to really worry about that. What we do need to worry about, though, is keeping our hit points up, though. Grab this thing, go down the waterfall. Like I said, it takes a little bit of shortcuts from the waterfall. We'll get a Total Shell. And we just got the Sildra summon not too long ago, so the game's going to be nice, and they're going to give us an air lance, and that's that weapon that actually boosts wind damage. So if you have a blue mage using the arrow spells, or a summoner using the Sildra, give them the air lance and that'll help boost them up. So get in here. Now to the left, that'll take us to where we need to go, but the right takes us there, but it makes us get to treasure chests. So if we would take the left, we would have came out onto the left over there, and we just have to do more walking to get to all these treasure chests. So I just took the right path. The right path, the left path, you end up on behind one of the waterfalls over to the left. And over to the left, there's going to be one thing. I'm going to have to break the rules of the Four Job Fiesta. I'm going to have to turn into a thief, because there's a treasure chest that you can't get unless you're a thief. So, because you need to have the dash ability that the thief has. I think in some of the remakes they gave you auto dash, so I don't know what will replace that, since everybody can dash. What ability replaces that for the thief? But yeah, there's the vanilla version, the Super Nintendo version. Only the thief can dash. And it's kind of a timed thing. You'll see there's a button you have to press to stop the water. And you gotta grab the chest before the water comes back on. And only a thief can do it. But luckily we don't get in any battles. So I feel it's a worthy sacrifice. So if we took the, the left passage, we would have came up the waterfall to the north of where we are here now. So now these, this thing is kind of, I wouldn't say tricky. It can be tricky. If you defeat the frog first, then the Alkuma, the lady with the lantern there, she starts spamming like the doom spell on you. So basically you just want to take out the lady, and then take out the frog. You could be dumb and use a Maiden's Kiss or cast a Toad spell on the frog, and it'll turn into an enemy that it's supposed to be. And normally it's a dragon. So that's why Angels did so much damage there, because he has the Apollo Harp, and the Apollo Harp actually read does 8 times damage to dragons. So, yeah, usually it's a red dragon. So, yeah, just fight it in the frog form, because you can't do anything in the frog form, so here's the thing, we're just going to change Angels to a thief real quick. That way we can dash. Don't care what he has equipped, because we're not going to stand fast. Hit the button, and you got to dash real quick. You can be able to grab that treasure chest right as the water turns back on. Now we can turn back into our Four Job Fiesta class, the Bard. And keep moving on. It's nice to give us a halfway point save. They don't give you one right in front of the boss, but maybe it's because, like I said, you can actually skip the boss in this. We'll be fighting them because, like I said, 100%, so. Another new enemy there, a coral in the back. Also reach to lightning. We're going to clear out some space here, and then I'll throw their stats up. Speaking of coral, those coral rings that we got is what's going to make the boss of this tablet dungeon really, really easy. Well, not really. I can't say it's super easy, but it'll basically mitigate most of his most dangerous abilities. Just push these corals off here. How's coral attacking us? I can see that's shooting the spores at us. You know, but coral like have arms or something that can hit us? I don't know. I guess it's a fantasy, so why am I asking those questions all of a sudden now? I don't know. I'm just a rat. I like to think. So, of course, that's probably making you ask, how can a rat play video games? Don't think about it. Nintendo logic. Don't question it. Right. Now from this point on, we can also run into these new enemies called Fall Guards, and you want to try to get rid of them as quick as possible because they can power up, and if they power up and then they hit you, they pretty much one-shot your characters, so it can be kind of deadly. They come in either groups of 1 or 3. So 3 is the one that's like really bad. So you just gotta hope, chicken knife doesn't make you run away and you get good hits in there. That's where the haste shoes come in handy, those Hermes shoes, because they make us take turns like twice as fast. We get another wall ring there. That'll help us out for when we fight Bahamut. Here's a bad use of the things. So I'm gonna actually show off, speaking of Bahamut, the magic lamp. So it starts with the strongest summon, which is Bahamut, and then it works its way down to Leviathan. It skips the Phoenix summon, and then it works its way down, so it goes, then goes down to Odin, Sildra, Carbuncle, the Shote, Golem, Titan, Ifrit, Ramu, Shiva, the Remora fish, the Sylph, and then the Chocobo. And sometimes the Chocobo will be a fat Chocobo, and that does more damage than the regular Chocobo. And if you just keep using it over and over again, you get this like egg call, but that doesn't do anything. So I'll show off all the summons later on in the future episode when I got some more time. I just wanted to get these guys out of the way, so I thought, hey, good bomb. It'll say basically that'll be like, Fall Guard is charging up, and then its next attack is going to be the one that's basically going to hit you for like 9,999 damage, so. We got a little save point here. And we're going to go into the next room. There's a little bit of traps in the next room, but we actually use one of the traps to our advantage. So it's kind of like that back in the 3rd tablet dungeon, where you press that button and you wanted to fall down into a pit. We want to do something like that here. Down there, you go to the south, that gets us to the next room we want to go to, next floor, but we're going to fall into a pit instead to get into it. So there's a few pit tiles here. The main one is directly south. And I think there's one directly north of the staircase that we came down in. But so you just want to. This is the one that's like tough to avoid. This one coming up here. Just to make sure that when you can turn to the left here, you go left, and we'll go back and fall in that hole there. And that'll take us down to the next floor, and it'll just save some walking on that floor. So we're gonna head back, go to that hole, fall in, ba-dunk. We're gonna come back here because the only way to go forward now is to actually fall into a hole. So we're gonna see treasure chest, and in front of all the treasure chests are on the same screen as the treasure chest. We're gonna see a button. If you open the treasure chest, those spikes pop up. But if you press the button before you open the treasure chest, the spikes will pop up beforehand. So you could save, if you know what spikes come up, you don't have to press the buttons. But I just press the buttons to show you where they are at. And then the final way forward is you actually have to hit the button because the spikes will leave holes behind. And those holes is where we want to drop down in. So let's see the magic lamp. Yeah, we didn't have the Famous, so we don't have a Leviathan summon either, but the magic lamp doesn't care. It just uses them anyway, so. And we can get to see the Odin summon. What it's kind of doing here is I was kind of setting it up to eventually use I could use the Carbuncle summon against Bahamut, and something you could do if you don't have wall wings, or enough wall wings. I won't have enough wall wings. The only way you'd have enough wall wings is if you farmed them from those wall mages back in the barrier tower. But I didn't, so. But I have a way around that. I don't need everyone to have a wall wing because I have the hide ability, so. So now we come down here, grab the 4th tablet. No boss appears. That's nice. When we try to leave, a boss will appear. That red minion of Exdeath, but we won't fight him because somebody's gonna come out and basically save us. So I'm gonna give Cara the hide ability here. She can run away. There we go. And everybody else will end up just giving the core rings to. So remember when we got the first tablet? Basically said that it released the seal on Bahamut and Leviathan. Well, Leviathan's going to be our boss here, and like with someone that we just used with him, he's the tidal wave attack, and the tidal wave attack is water damage. But if we have the core rings on, it's going to heal us rather than hurt us. So this guy says, "Hey, Exdeath's going to make a world of monsters." He can't let us stop Exdeath from doing that. But we won't stop that guy, because Leviathan's going to stop him. Leviathan comes out, hit him with some water, finishes him off. The monster was killed by Leviathan. Now we can just walk out of here. We can just avoid Leviathan, but we're going to talk with him because, like I said, 100%. And like I said, he's not a very difficult boss because he is a dragon-type enemy. And Angel's going to do a lot of damage with their Apollo Harp. Weird thing is, even though Bahamut is the king of dragons, he's not considered a dragon-type enemy. You don't get the extra damage from the Dragon Harp, or the Apollo Harp. So, it's really weird. So he got some tough attacks. Ouch, double attack there, dope. Not good. Yeah, actually, Angel's basically our best attacker here. So, we can have Lenna on Revive duty. And if he ever decides to use that tidal wave, it'll basically just heal us up to full. So, there he goes, tidal wave. Boom, that hits us. And rather than doing like 800 some damage to us, it's going to heal us. So we don't have to really worry about healing too much. Just use Faris's bolt. I could probably put the wizard one on her. Do a little bit more damage, but it wouldn't deal too much more damage. So, sadly, the core ring doesn't absorb the aqua rake, but actually made Cara show. Not good. What is using the tidal wave? Not good. You see, that's pretty deadly attack, but Leviathan's almost done, so he falls pretty quickly with the combination of the lightning and the Apollo heart. So we just have a hide again. We'll also be using a similar strategy when we fight Bahamut, because you don't have the 4 reflect wall rings. But Bahamut has a Mega Flare attack. If you played Final Fantasy IV, you realize the way to beat Bahamut in that game is you have to cast Reflect on yourself and bounce his Mega Flare breath back at him. Same thing we do here, so, but we don't have enough wall rings. We don't have the Reflect spell because we don't have a white mage. So we're just going to have one of our characters hide, and if they're not on screen, they won't take damage from the Mega Flare. So we just step out here and then wash it outside. We'll save our game here, and we'll go back into that waterfall dungeon again just to farm that last enemy, and then we're off to the North Mountain to get Bahamut. Take care, see you around. Bye.